Hey everyone! Today we're going to be taking a look at Holy Priest and some of the changes that we're going to be anticipating to see in the upcoming expansion for Shadowlands. So here we have our alliance, Lightforged Janai. I just created a character really quick. And when we look in the spells, that's the first thing we want to take a look at. So immediately, which catches my eye, is Holy Priest finally have shadow spells back. I am very excited for this change. Nothing felt worse than being a holy priest and getting locked out of your holy spells, and then you couldn't heal or damage anything. You kind of just stood there with like la 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 la, jumping around in circles. I am so excited to have some offensive abilities, and I was lucky enough to start leveling a little bit on the beta and feel how Holy Priest felt. And I felt so strong being able to run through, tag a bunch of mobs with Shadow Word Pain, turn around when they got low, Shadow Word Death them, be able to smite them, Mind Blast them, as well as your normal Holy Fire, etc., which is in the Holy Tree. Holy Fire, Holy Word Chastise. You have a lot of spells at your disposal. Something else that's really exciting is Power Word Shield. I am really excited, and I'm kind of pumped to see what this is going to look like. So at level 50, it absorbs 960 damage. Now, I know that Holy Priests overall have struggled with not being able to have their own personal cooldown. That has been a problem, aside from like Guardian. And Guardian you want to use on your tanks anyways, prevents death. But being able to sit here and be like, hey, I can bubble myself, it is an absorption, it does mitigate some damage, and that might make them a little bit stronger in Mythic Plus or in endgame rating content. Holy Priests are still looking to be like that big glass cannon healer that we love to see. The other spells that we have given back to us in a return, if I click on Holy, that might help a little bit. So we have Mind Vision that is still there. I don't really see the point in why we need Mind Vision, but it's there. But our toolkits have basically stayed the same, except Palm is now instant, and I think that's a really good change that I wish would have actually happened in BFA. But moving towards Shadowlands, having Palm instant is going to be a really nice thing. Gives us a little bit more ability to heal on the run, which I'm really excited about. We still have our Divine Hymn, that still works the same, nothing has really changed there. Circle of Healing is still there, and it's baseline. This is a big deal. Having Circle of Healing as a baseline frees up some abilities for us. What abilities? Let's take a look. So as soon as you go into your talents and you want to look at everything, so the first row. So first row, Enlightenment hasn't changed. Trail of Light, Trail of Light hasn't changed. But we have a renewed faith. So this is a different ability. So previously, we had a different talent trait in this row, one that we never ever used. So I'm glad to see they got rid of those talents that were never used in like 2 expansions. It should take 1 expansion to realize you don't continue to keep it, but you know what? At least they've learned. So this is a passive ability where your healing is increased by 10% on targets with your renew stacked on them. So I can see this being a nice talent to take if you're taking Holy Word Salvation, where everybody's getting a renew, especially on those like big moments. However, I don't really see this being taken over progression rating from the regeneration for mana, and I don't really see this being taken for a 5-man. I still think that Trail of Light will beat it, but I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It'll be interesting to see what the end game is going to look like. In our next row, we have Angel's Mercy. Damage you take reduce the cooldown on Desperate Prayer based on the armor of damage taken. Body and Soul, Powered Shield, and Leap of Faith increase your target's movement speed by 40%. Hasn't changed. And Feathers, again, hasn't changed. I'm still thinking that Feathers are going to be our go-to, specifically because Holy Priests are so slow. I definitely think that Feathers will be the go-to in this row as well. So for me, looking from a raid perspective, I'm probably going to pick Enlightenment, followed by Feather. Looking at my next row, in a raid setting, to highlight that again, we have Afterlife, again, Party, increase duration of Spirit of Redemption by 50%, and increase the range of your healing spells while in Spirit by 30%. Here's the kicker. with the legendaries coming into play, where holy priests can go into Spirit of Redemption, and when it's done and expires, they have their own personal kind of an Ankh where they can resurrect themselves. This might be an attractive spell to take if you choose to use that legendary and use Spirit of Redemption as like a cooldown for yourself if you're looking to get 1 mana. If you're gonna die anyways, it gives you another little bit of like a oomph. Again, you're only gonna get like this one time in your entire fight. So I don't know if that one time will be enough to counter Cosmic Ripple. Cosmic Ripple still looks really good. When Holy Word Serenity and Holy Word Sanctify finish their cooldowns, you emit a burst of light that heals up to 5 injured targets. I still think this is probably likely overall healing is going to be your go-to for a raid. And again, Guardian Angel is probably going to be your Mythic plus talent. Moving down one more into the 35 row, it doesn't really matter. I don't mind the stun. I like the knockback, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of personal choice. Jumping into rank 40, Surge of Light, Binding Heal, and where we used to have Circle of Healing, we now have Prayer Circle. So Prayer Circle, using Circle of Healing reduces the cast time of your Prayer of Healing by 30% for 8 seconds. Now, this looks really exciting to me. And the reason I'm like, oh, is because, you know, I think of a Resto Shaman where you're stacked up, and if you're in their healing rain, their chain heal can heal them more. If you dump this in on a real heavy AoE fight, you can be pumping out the heals. Every time that your Circle of Healing is up, you're off cooldown, which is how it's playing currently on retail, and then switching into this to give your Prayer of Healing more. If your mana can sustain this, I think Prayer of Circle is going to be a very strong talent. I do think, though, if you're going to rock Prayer Circle, you are going to have to run Enlightenment. You're going to need the mana to make up for your Prayer of Healing. If you're not running Enlightenment, if you decide to go through the Trail of Light, where you cast Heal or Flash Heal, and a percentage of that is going to the target you just healed, a Surge of Light could still be attractive to you. Binding Heal is still going to be attractive to you. But I think that it's going to be Prayer Circle for a raid setting. I can't see the other ones beating it out unless Prayer of Healing is hitting like a wet noodle. In our other row, again, nothing's really changed. We still have Benediction. We have Divine Star and Halo. A Benediction might be a nice passive movement. If you're going to rock Benediction, I can see Renewed Faith being a combo with that because they have Renew. There's a chance of having a Renew on your target. Halo is still super strong, though, if you're not always stacked. And even if you are stacked, like right now, Halo is so strong. Halo still might be your go-to. And if Halo is your go-to, you're going to ignore the rest of them. And then in our last row, again, nothing has changed. In a raiding environment, you're likely going to take Holy Word Salvation. I'm kind of disappointed that nothing changed with Light of the Naru, because you didn't even take Light of the Naru at all in BFA, and it's still here into Shadowlands. But I don't think this has a point in relevance to be here, or at least not in this row. I would rather see this, maybe Light of the Naru move into like Binding Heal, like put it up here with Binding Heal and make Binding Heal baseline, and then give us a new talent. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't go with more options for Holy Priest, and they didn't really change a ton. I still think Lightwell needs to be added to the Holy Priest, either in a cosmetic fashion or in some other capacity. Lightwell is a signature move on Holy Priest, and it's still not here. So I would like to see that happen. But overall, you know, Holy Priest looks pretty much the same. I don't really see a lot of differences except for taking Prayer Circle in place of Circle of Healing. I think this will be your raid testings for sure, your raid settings. And it'll be interesting to see where they stack up. I think they're still gonna be a powerhouse when it comes to raiding and for like your spot heals. But I do think they're probably going to be on the weaker end for Mythic Plus. And this is a problem that needs to be adjusted or addressed in some capacity, because I don't see it. I hope that I'm wrong. And in a video that's upcoming soon with Discipline, we'll take a look at Disc to compare the two. But this is our Holy Priest, quick little Shadowlands update. If you guys have liked this content, please feel free to like and subscribe to the video down below. Bye for now, make good choices, and be safe.